Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Trending Thursday. My name is Glenn Tompkins, Senior Instructor here at VectorVest. Always glad to be here. Always glad I'm moving, and always glad that you are here as well. Thank you for supporting the channel. If you can hear me, by all means, please respond in the affirmative, preferably with VV Nation, to let me know that I am coming across loud and clear. Loud and clear. A lot going on in the market again today. Meta beats and the market's loving it. But does that change anything? Is it time to buy Meta? Is the market now letting us know that possibly we have found a bottom and we now need to think about moving up to the upside? We're going to have that discussion today. Mark, did you get to your location? I know you were driving yesterday while you were listening to the Jockey Club. Did you get to your location? Hopefully you did. Hopefully you got there nice, safe, and sound. All right, so there we go. A lot of VV Nations are coming across, loving that. Got 94 people. Wait for some more people to get the alert and get in here before we get you back in Mississippi. Okay, so you made it. You made it safe and sound. Awesome. That was a long drive. Every day is living the dream. There you go. Cigar and Mark know each other, by the way, in case you didn't know. Mr. Mex Biker is here. Drew is here. Haas is here. Jay is always here. Even when we're not here, I think Jay is in the room just sitting around. But I don't think Jay ever goes home. All right, with that, we got 131 people. So you know me, I'm going to ask, let's go see if we can get 300 people into the room. All right, this is see, Salt Sake of Shame, back up the truck. Oh, man, I'm not ready to back up the truck yet. I know we are still trading at the session highs today, so no wick at the top of the candle, which we're going to look at in a second. But is it really, how many Hertz had a great earnings and popped? Now, I want you to sit back and think about something. All of these companies that beat earnings, did they lay off people? Yes or no? All of these companies that beat earnings, there's a reason behind the question. All of these companies that beat earnings, for the most part, I'll say for the most part, did they lay off people? Yes or no? Type it in the room. All right, type it in the room. And that's going to be very interesting going forward from this point. Just like Anwar says, got to wait for the Fed as well. Fake earnings, fake news, Salt Shaker says. Listen, so the reason why I ask the question is because these people knew that come earnings time, and Ray, I think the majority of the people that are out there, majority of the companies that hit had a part in laying off people. A majority of them had a part in laying off people. So what was that all about? To make sure that when earnings time came around, that they were going to be good. At least the bottom line would look good as from an earnings perspective. And I think for most part, that's happening. I think that's happening. Yes. So it cut costs and raised their earnings, says Sharon. And absolutely. So it was a good business move, even though it sucked for the people that got laid off. It was a good business move to at least give some semblance of a good bottom line to be able to come to the investors that are investing in their companies and say, yeah, we did good. We made money. Earnings is not revenue. Very true. So there's a second part to that, Ramor, right? Just because people meet earnings doesn't always mean that they beat on revenue. And you'll see a lot of companies out there that will beat on earnings, miss on revenue, and still go down in price. So there is a two-part to that. But for the most part, from an earnings perspective, to say that they made money, not from a revenue perspective, but from an earnings perspective, I'm not wholeheartedly putting all my eggs in one basket, and I'm not feeling warm and fuzzy about the earnings reports. Now, set that aside. They beat, the market likes it, the market's going up. But then the market's got to look at what's really going on. Has anything changed in the market for us to have a more positive sign in the market? So, as I talk about that, let's get into the VectorVest software. All right. Here's the VectorVest composite. And for us, when we look at the VectorVest composite, it tracks the movement of over 9,000 stocks. Fine. This is what we call the broad market move. Nice up day in the market today. Very little wick, no wick at the top of the candle. So that means that the market is trading right at the session highs. Good. So now we've already determined that the market peaked around here, around this swing high, pulled back. Now I drew my fib lines from the low to the high instead of from the high to the low to get a feel of how far the market has to the downside. As of yesterday, not only did we break through the 61.8 fib, but we also broke through a VectorVest level of support sitting at the value of 55.60. We're clearly 30 cents above that right now. Does the market have legs to the upside? Well, this 61.8 level on the fibs will give us a better idea. But I still ask the question, is it substantiated? Rates are still going up. Inflation is coming down, but not at the level that the Fed wants. GDP went up, showing, that GDP went up, but not as much as expected, showing a shrinking economy. Housing, new starts, not new starts, but existing home sales went down. I think a lot of people are not selling their homes right now because they don't want to take out a new mortgage on a new home at a higher mortgage rate. The Fed is hawkish. So even with news of some companies beating earnings, let me ask you the question, are any of you warm and fuzzy about today's move to the upside? Yes or no? All right. Are any of you warm and fuzzy? And again, no, you know me, when I ask these questions, there's a no judgment zone. All right. Is anybody out there warm and fuzzy about today's upward move? All right. News, earnings, the whole 9 yards. There you go. Wow. All right. I was figuring somebody like Jay would put yes. I figured somebody would put yes. So as we look at this, I am glad to at least see that as investors here on our channel, you're not caught up in the whirlwind of the chatter. That you're looking at the reality of what's still going on. A few companies beating estimates, not long-term catalyst, says Chris. Sell crappy stocks short at resistance. Okay. No, the underlying issues need resolution, says Jerry. All right. So let's talk about, we already talked a little bit about some of the underlying issues. We've got inflation coming down. We've got interest rates still going up. I don't think anybody, I can't say in their right mind, but I almost have to say, I don't think anybody in their right mind thinks the Fed is ready to pull back or pause on interest rates. Not just quite yet. All right. The hurt that we're going through is not there yet still. Best to buy contras with their pullback. So now, talk about that, Stephanie. I'm still holding a couple of contras. I dumped a couple of contras today because they were triple leveraged and they were killing me. All right. And I dumped those, but a couple of my contras are still holding their own. I still feel that we're in a situation based on the market trend, looking at the VectorVest composite, that we've got a lot more downside to the market. So I'm still preparing to the downside. I still have a couple of stocks long. I was using the contras to hedge, and that's what I'm looking at. All right. Chris says short the rallies. Well, you got to buy the dips, short the rallies. All I really want you to do is just manage the portfolios that you have. On an up day like today, does the market give you opportunities to buy some stocks long? Absolutely. But I don't want you to lose sight of what's really going on. This level, this 50 level, or this even better, this level of 57.15, 57.13 is a good level of resistance in the current market right now. If the market really has legs to the upside, it'll break through there, get to that next fib level of 38.2, blah, 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 blah. We've got a ways to go. So one day doesn't make a trend. All right. One day does not make a trend. I shorted too early today, still climbing. I didn't short anything today. I left all my contras on the table. The ones that were hurting me the most, that was, they were against me by like 10%, I got out of. All right. So, and I was in one long speculative play, and it killed me today too. That's my own fault, but I didn't have a ton of money in it. It was a little bit of money playing a speculative play that looked good yesterday and went the other way. We are at the tip of the iceberg. So I am thinking about an idea for tomorrow's video, the 6 p.m. video, talking about getting ready for a market correction. Do you think that's a video I should do tomorrow, or should I wait a little longer? All right, do you think that that's a good 6 p.m. video for tomorrow, getting ready for a market correction, or do you think I should wait a little bit? All right, do you think I should wait a little bit? All right. Glenn, what's your thoughts on the market taking out the October low? Ooh, October low. We got a ways to go. I hear Naranjan says wait. A couple of people are saying yes. All right, I'll think about it. That's an idea. The November low, September, October. I've got more of an October low. I don't think we get down this far. All right, that's my opinion. I don't think we get down this far. I think even the Fed doesn't get us down this far to 49.80. That's more. Is that October? It could be in November. It's my dateline. My dateline tells me, yeah, October. I don't think we get down this low. That's my personal opinion. Now, unless we get a full bore recession, I think the October low holds. All right, it's an idea, or it's a good idea. It's just an idea. I think it's better to be prepared in advance and not need it, says Chris. Stephanie says, don't wait. All right, it's an idea. It's one of two video ideas that I'm having for tomorrow's video. All right, so what government news is Friday? We'll check. Head and shoulders pattern forming. Let's go back to the 3 months. I have a hard time reading head and shoulders, unless that's the head, shoulder. This is the neckline. Are you tracking with me? Head, shoulder, neckline. You guys tracking with me? Yes, that's what you're seeing is the head and shoulder. Well, the head and shoulders is normally a bearish indication, and from that we did pull down. I'm still not warm and fuzzy about today's move. All right, neckline is lower. Somewhere in the 61.8, you're thinking then? For the head mark, you're thinking in the fib level of the 61.8? Lower on the neckline, says David as well. Are you telling me neckline is at the bottom? Oh, down here. Well, if that's the case, is that the November low? No, that's not. That's back here. This is the neckline right here. Right here. All right. I'm still learning about my fib levels, but is this you're calling this the neckline? Do we have some? Do we have some level down to this level of 54.40? You know something, 53.42. I think that's a better level of support than this low. I think that's a better level of support than this low. All right, and we still got some room to go down, and we got another fib level to break through before we get to that level too. All right, so that's what I'm thinking. I use the head and shoulders, but now I use to wash that gray right out of my Those are two different things. Head and shoulders didn't wash the gray right out of your hair. What was the product for wash the gray right out of your hair? I'm gonna wash that gray right out of my hair and send it on. What shampoo was to wash the gray out of your hair? I don't remember. Was it Clearasil? Huh? No, it was before your time, Joey. It wasn't just for men. It wasn't near. I don't remember what it was. It wasn't gasoline either. I forgot what the product was. You have to Google it. But it was a shampoo to wash that gray. It wasn't for zits. You guys are going off the tracks. Stick with me. Stop going off the rails. So, son of a gun. Stick with me. It wasn't White Rain. I don't think it was White Rain. Anyway, so wow, you guys are trying to throw me off my game. Like Joey. Huh? I don't need to wash no gray out of my hair. Was it Clairol? I'm thinking, Maria, you might be right. It might have been Clairol. It might have been Clairol. All right. You guys are going off. The Nair will get rid of all your hair. Nair's not going to get rid of just your gray hair. It's going to get rid of all your hair. Grecian formula. I think it was before Grecian formula. Clairol. I really think it was Clairol. I think it was Clairol. All right. So all of this, before we got off the tracks, was all about where the market was heading. One day doesn't make a trend. I like this neckline idea. Level of support at 53.43. We're going to keep our eyes on it. All right. Everybody's putting Clairol, Clarisol, something. I think it was something like that. Glenn, can you sing Head and Shoulders, Knees and Toes when talking about the head and shoulder pattern? No, I'm not. Head and shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head and shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Eyes and ears and mouth and nose. Head and shoulder, knees and toes, knees and toes. All right, I did it. 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 All right, let's go talk about what news is moving the market today. Let's go talk about what news is moving the market. I can't believe you guys really made me do that on. People are going to look at this and they're going to get scared away and run. People are going to look at this and get scared away and run. It's going to be all y'all's fault. It's going to be all y'all's fault. Y'all need to invite more people to the channel now because of all the people that I just scared away. Hit Joey, put the link in there. Put the link in there. Everybody's got to now share the link because of all the people that I just scared away. You got to go bring some more people. Joey, put the link in there. Now do it. Do it. See what you did? See what you did? Everybody's got to click the link and share it now. Everybody's got to click the link and share it. I scared half the room away. Gosh, darn it. Ah, lordy, lordy, lordy. All right. News that's moving the market. Some of this other news is also giving me not a warm, fuzzy feeling about the market too. U.S. economic growth slowed to 1.1. You know, they predicted or they forecasted that it was going to go up to 2. It was only at 1.1, while inflation accelerates. That's a key part of this statement. While inflation accelerates. Why is inflation accelerating? More people are spending money. 3.7%. More people are still spending money. If this was a real hurt to the market, like everybody thinks that we're going through, all right? We are going through some hurt. Don't let me minimize that. We are going through economic hurt. But the Fed said he was going to cause the market some pain. People are still spending money. People still spending money. Inflation is going to have an opportunity to keep rearing its head. Fed's not trying to have that. So I think I've said it on more than one occasion that we get worse before we get better. How about this? The Fed now says it expects a recession. When was the last time that the Fed actually admitted that that was going to happen? Does that change anything? The answer to that is no. The Fed minutes released yesterday indicate what day? This was back in April 13th though, so it's a little longer. That there will be a mild recession by the end of the year. Well, if there's going to be a mild recession by the end of the year, I still think that he continues to raise interest rates. I still think into the end of the year. I don't think he changes posture until way later towards the end of the year. I know it's an older story, but it needed to be said, right? The Fed's key rate stays hot as GDP slows, but the S&P 500 rallies. The key rate that the Fed is looking for stays hot. If it stays hot, he's going to stay hawkish. But the S&P rallies today. Another reason why I'm not feeling that the market, that one day doesn't make a trend, number one, and that I don't feel warm and fuzzy about the move today. By definition, we're already in a recession. Ooh, Mr. Mex Biker, by whose definition? I did a video on that. By whose definition? The long tried true definition of it was 2 quarters of GDP down. We got it. But then the government said, no. That's not a recession. Just like they said, no. Inflation is just transitory. That's all I got to say about that. I'm not going to go down the Kramer rate and go, they know. I'm not getting into that. I'm not getting into that. But it's interesting how if you want to save face, you turn around and redefine the definition, and that ain't so cool. All right. U.S. in the worst of both worlds, high inflation and GDP slowdown. The Fed is going to keep doing what the Fed's got to do. Inflation accelerates. Fed preferred inflation gauge picked up, indicating sticky price pressures. What's the Fed's job to do is to stabilize price. And the only way that they're doing it right now without taking the stuff off the books the way that they should as well is raising interest rates. I still think that at some point in time, he goes higher than 25 basis points again, unless we continue down this path of death by 1,000 paper cuts. All right, rip off the Band-Aid, Bo. Rip off the Band-Aid. Why believe the government definition? Because of the government. Stagflation is coming. I don't disagree with that, Ramor. Stagflation is coming. This will only be a mild recession for the next few months, but the interest rates will increase by a quarter each time. While they need to just get up off that and just go 50 basis points. Long time ago, I said they should have just done 100 basis points, rip off the Band-Aid. U.S. and the rest of both worlds, just another success story for the brand. I'm not getting into that, John. I'm not doing that. All right. Big news. Meta stock pops 15% to 15-week highs on guidance. Sales increase. Well, if it's sales increase, that's going to add to revenue, right? The company also guided to second quarter numbers that were above analyst consensus. Now, the question is, can they meet that? Is it just all talk? Is it just all talk to make people think that they're good, fine, and dandy? Or can they come up on it? I saw a story, I didn't know how true it was, that Meta was pulling out of the metaverse. That they were going to, I just saw a story of it, I didn't read it. I was too busy trying to get busy ready for today. But saying that they may be pulling out of the metaverse? Which sectors do the best in stagflation? I'm going to say consumer stuff, Ramor. Staples, the stuff that people need, like Procter & Gamble, Colgate, Palmolive, those kinds of stocks. What else does well, no matter what the market is doing? Funeral services. That's a morbid thing to say. But funeral services, and we got it as an industry. Funeral services, commodities. I'm not really gung-ho about commodities because they still are going to fluctuate. Commodities are going to be fluctuating around the dollar. So I will say utilities. Utilities is something in stagflation that you could take advantage of. But if you're going to buy a utility, you want to make sure it's a utility that pays a dividend. You can find a lot of utilities out there that pay a dividend. So utilities is a good way to go. Marijuana, Joe says marijuana. Sigh. You can't say that here. You can't say that here. Cafe Bustelo and crispy bacon does well in all times. All right, Meta using AI to accelerate sales, especially on Instagram. That's another thing. Meta, I've done some videos on Meta, on AI. AI, I really do like, and it's a trendy thing that's moving and rocking and rolling. Part of that whole AI space is going to be chips. Keep your eyes on the chips. They're going to have their ups, they're going to have their downs, but in order for AI to accelerate as far as hardware, they're going to need the chips for their hardwares. All right, they're going to need alcohol is another thing. People get despondent. That's sucky too. That's another morbid thing, that alcohol would go up. Not Bud Light though. Alcohol is going to go up in price, but Bud Light, I'm not getting into that either. They have to lay off employees. They're not doing well. All smoke and mirrors. Now, Greg brings up a good point. It's not that they're not doing well, Greg. They're trying to make sure that they do the best that they can, which is where the layoffs come from. So the layoffs are the easy way to trim the fat. Now, on the other side of that, looking at a market potentially going down, People losing jobs, that's a lot less capital going into the market, pushing the market lower as well. I mean, people are going to be taking money out of the market. That's another reason to put behind a downturn in the market as well. Just putting that out there. Too late to get into Cameco. I am still a fan of uranium from a clean energy perspective, but it fluctuates. It's either a really good time to be in it or not a really good time to be in it. But I think long-term, CCJ or Cameco, from a uranium perspective, is still there. I honestly think so. All right. Talking about people laying off. Gap to lay off 1,800 workers. Well, does anybody know when? Somebody go research it for me. When Gap has earnings coming out? All right. Are they already pushing ahead to try to make the bottom line look good already? Can anybody hook me up with when Gap is going to report earnings? I'm wondering if this is a precursor. But not only that, a lot of companies are already doing it. All right. I did a little segment of a video showing how many people are getting laid off. It's a lot of folks getting laid off. But even with a lot of folks getting laid off, there's a lot of jobs out there that people are looking for as well. Kind of interesting there. All right. Kind of interesting there. Next one, Crocs. Another one that beat. Crocs sales spiked 34%. I don't know if Crocs laid off anybody, though. They got the ugly shoes. May 25th. Thank you, Ramor. Look at that. Sort of kind of fits right into play with what's going on. They're laying off people prior to earnings. They got about a month. They got about a month for Gap to report earnings. Laying off people. I'm wondering, as we get closer and closer to the May reportings, how many more companies are going to be right on line with laying off people as well. Avatar says May 3rd. Wait a minute. Which day? That's so far from each other. It is, it would be a difference if you were off by a couple of days. It's 5/25. Avatar, where you getting your date from? Yeah. You see the 24th. See, I can see the difference between 24th and 25th, but not May 3rd. Avatar, how you getting that date? When I got 3 people in that 24th to 25th range. Sigh. That's why I asked for more than one person. Thank you, though, Avatar, for looking. You could have just mistyped. All right. But Crocs, the ugliest shoes in the world, but they make money. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Avatar said he got it on Yahoo Finance. How come the other people got more than that? With high personal debt amounts, cars, credit, defaults, next. Oh, I just did Joey, put that video up. I just did a video on that, Mr. Mex Biker. I put a video out on a credit bubble about to happen. Maria says 5.3 to 5.8. Crocs down 20% today. Is that possibly because people are taking profits on it because they're not feeling warm and fuzzy about the market? Interesting. How does a company beat on earnings the way it does? Oh, I know why. Dives on forecasts. It was the forward guidance. There you go. It was the forward guidance. So I can, by way of VectorVest, can give a good inclination of the companies I think should meet or exceed earnings. I got no indicator for forward guidance, though. There's the link there, Mr. Mex Biker, talking about the credit bubble happening. There's that link right there. Thank you, Joey. Just did a video on it. I think that we are not only are we in for a credit bubble, I think that more banks like SVB are getting ready to go down. We ain't seen it yet, and I think all of that contributes to a further push to the downside in the market. Glad I did not short with that low BSR. Let me tell you something about that BSR. All right, and this is something that caught my attention while we were looking at it. That BSR was getting low coming off of the top. The BSR normally doesn't get low until the market moves lower. That was very interesting about the buy to sell ratio being as low as it was while the market was moving up. That also is a bearish divergence. All right, that also was a bearish divergence. Ben says, Gap reports 6-1. Sigh. All right, Gap seems to be all over the place. Gap seems to be all over the place as far as a solid date for reporting. Glenn, many banks are closing branches and are doing it quietly. I'm trying to tell you folks that there's more to the banking issue than people are out there telling you. I'm at least keeping you aware, all right? I'm at least keeping you aware that there's more to the bank situation than anybody's reporting on. All right, I've just been scouring the internet about it, and it takes me a while to have to find real news about it. But John is right. Glenn, many banks are closing branches and doing it quietly. This whole region, these regional banks haven't reported their bond issues yet like SVB did. More are going to have to. Not only did SVB, FRC got bailed out by the big banks, and now we're asking the big banks for more money. If I'm a big bank, I'm not putting no more money in the FRC. FRC is getting killed. I'm not putting no more money in the FRC. I think that they eventually go to the wayside pretty quickly. I don't think that, they had a run on their bank. They lost a lot of money. They had a run on their bank. And the big banks, it wasn't the government that bailed them out. It was the big banks that came to their aid. The government came to backstop the depositors. If more of these banks go down, I don't think the government has the wherewithal to bank stop all of these depositors. I don't think that they can do it. All right. So that's why Crocs is down. They beat, but it's the forward guidance. Merck's first quarter earnings beat estimates even as the COVID-19 treatment sales plummet. Merck is going to have some issues. The other side of Merck, though, is that they're a big company with a lot of drugs in their pipeline. I like Merck overall as a company. I think that this is just a little bump. I still like Merck as a company. All right. Once all of the COVID sales went away and people started pushing that to we don't need the vaccine, don't need the vaccine, don't need the vaccine. These companies that will put out all these COVID vaccines are going to feel the hurt. The IEA, the International Energy Association, can somebody back me up on that? What is the IEA? I think that's what it is. What is the IEA? I think it's the International Energy Agency. International Energy Agency. Interesting that the IEA predicts another record year for electric vehicles. EV shares rose 14% in 2022 from 4% in 2020. I don't think that we can deny that there's definitely a demand for EVs. I did a short yesterday or the day before talking about how Chevy's dropping the Volt and they're moving on to the bigger, more luxurious vehicles that are electric. And I think that a lot of people have told me on more than one occasion that they will not buy an EV because they're too expensive. As I start looking into the prices of EVs and I start looking into the price of, combustion engines, Joey and I both drive big trucks. What do you drive, Joey? You drive a Tonka truck? It's not bigger than my car. Whatever. When your little truck grows up, that cute little feller, when your truck grows up to be like my truck, then we'll talk. But Joey drives a Tonka truck. I, on the other hand, drive a Ford Excursion. They don't even make the Excursion anymore. How many gallons of gas does your Tonka truck hold? Mine gets gallon per mile. No. How many gallons does your truck hold? Yeah, about 20 gallons. No, all right. So just look at it this way. My truck holds 40 gallons, so I'm double what he is. But it's interesting how you look at, if I were to go, what do you drive, a Yukon? I think that if you try to go a Tahoe, if you go try to buy a brand new Tahoe nowadays, it's right up there in the same range as buying a luxurious EV. Does anybody disagree with that? Excursion is not a truck, it's a soccer van. I think I could rent out space in my truck for people to live in. That's how big my truck is. All right. And I am double what he is. Just he's about double what I am size wise, though. Can I say that? Why you got quiet, Joey? Your F-150 has a 38-gallon tank. Well, my Excursion's got a 40-gallon tank. So it is. Batteries are expensive to replace 7 to 10 years down the road when replacing them in EV. Sorry for the. It's true. It is. But they have the warranties on them. They have the warranties on them. 10 years, 100,000 miles. A lot of people say that ain't a lot. Well, it is what it is. But you're right. The biggest, most expensive part of owning an EV is the battery. All right. The F-150 EV has a big battery fire problem. Was it the Ford? Yeah, I did a story. I did a short that showed the Ford EVs having fire problems. Good luck driving on the interstate with EVs, Kevin. That's coming along down the line as well. More and more highways are getting charging stations for EVs. They have to. They have to. So, Kevin, you may say that, but I think that as you look around, just locally in your local areas, more EV stations are coming up. I think on the interstates, they're making an active go at it for putting more EVs so that an EV can actually go coast to coast. Whether we agree with the EV philosophy is irrelevant to whether or not we can make money in it. Chris, you're right. I still think it's a good place to make money in. I still think that it is a good place to make money. How long does it take to add fuel? A lot less longer than it takes to charge a vehicle. I got you. A lot less time than it takes to charge a vehicle. All right, so I put this story up because I still think that EVs are a good place to be. Here's a company. Thermo Fisher stock has soared. It's still cheap and has plenty of upside. Name a company that's doubled its earnings during the pandemic, but now trades more cheaply than it did at the start of 2020, even as sales hit new records. Thermo Fisher, because you might have forgot about the stock, or because you never knew its name at all. Thermo Fisher puts out products for the medical space. All right, Thermo Fisher puts out products for the healthcare or medical space. So I want to take a look at this. EVs weigh more. Some garages may not be able to handle the weight. You talk about as far as putting them up on a lift. I never thought about that. I actually never thought about that. If you got to put an EV up on a lift, is it too heavy to put up on a lift? I never thought about that, Michael. I never, ever thought about that. Is there going to be a different way? Man, what happens if you got to get under an EV? What kind of jack do you use? Well, you use a jack that big boys like me use on our excursions. I wonder if my excursion jack would jack up an EV. I never thought about that. All right. So Thermo Fisher, I want to take a look at the stock from the story. And last but not least, Southwest Airlines CEO concedes brand was hurt by December upheaval. A lot of stocks, just like Boeing. Boeing was another stock that I thought was a good stock that got hurt by PR. Southwest is a company or an airline that's getting beat up by PR. Can it rebound? All right. The buck stops here. Says, I bought an EV for a little under $7,000 to drive around town in Colorado Springs, and I haven't paid for gas ever since. We get snow and ice 8 months out of the year, no problem. That's a bona fide story from a person who owns a vehicle. That's a bona fide story, and you paid less than $7,000. Probably only has a range of about 150 miles. But if you're doing it to drive around town, man, under $7,000 for an EV. May not have all the bells and whistles, but you ain't paying for gas. And the cool thing about when you recharge, you're recharging on off-peak hours, normally when you're sleeping. So it doesn't affect the grid adversely like that. A garage in New York City collapsed and blamed it on the weight of EVs. See, I didn't know that. I honestly didn't know that. All right. The 2023 Tesla X Plaid, curb weight 5,300 pounds. How heavy are our trucks, Joey? Do you know?
No idea.
I have no idea either. But it's got to be heavy. It's
a lot.
It's a lot. I've heard, not confirmed, that only Tesla can sell tires for Tesla. That would be a monopoly. That would be bad. All right. So those are the news articles that are moving. Let's go take a look at their stocks. Let's go pump up the jam, pump it up. The VIX is down below 20. So it's a lot of greed in the market right now. All right. It's a lot of greed in the market right now. The NASDAQ is leading the charge to the upside. Well, Meta is a big part of that. Everything is up in excess of 1%, including the VectorVest composite. Let's go look at the stocks, though. I want to specifically look at Meta. All right, because Meta is the big mover today. Let me tell you some things about Meta. Meta is way overvalued. Doesn't make it a bad stock. It just means that people are willing to pay a premium to own the stock. 81620. The stock is like 3 times more its value. That's not a good thing, but it doesn't make it a bad stock. The upside potential on Meta is not there. The long-term price appreciation potential on our scale between 0 and 2 is not there. They make money. They're in an uptrend. It's a buy. What else is about this? They got negative earnings growth rate, but the stock is up 14% today. Remember we had this conversation yesterday about looking at the fundamentals and the technicals? This is more of a technical move. Do you see that? Yes or no? This is more of a technical move. Wow, my Ford Excursion is 7,600 pounds? Good, googly muggly. How about, what has you got? He's got a Tahoe? What about for the Tahoe? Told you my truck was much bigger than your truck, Joey. You got that whole whatever. My truck will eat your truck out and spit out the parts. I don't have 4-wheel. I don't need 4-wheel drive. Wow, really, Kevin? Really, Kevin? 9,600 pounds with Glenn in it. Really? Wow. That's messed up. I'm getting beat up. Wow. Wow, that was generous. Hold on.
I love it.
I do. I love you guys. I do love you guys. All right. You're talking about on the Yukon, about 5,400 pounds. I got your car by like more than 2,000 pounds, Joey. I got your truck by like 2,000 pounds. All right. Anyway, so as we look at Meta going up, I'm not warm and fuzzy about the big update today. A stock like Meta, way overvalued, upside potential not there. It does make money. It's in an uptrend. It's a buy. Got negative earnings growth, knowing that earnings is the engine that drives the stock's price higher. Crocs, on the other hand, is the top of the list. Nicely undervalued, fundamentally sound stock, down today because of forward guidance. All right. I look at Merck as a drug company, also undervalued, fundamentally sound company, up a little bit today. Let's go look at that Thermo Fisher joint right there. Yeah. Overvalued, fundamentally sound though. Company is fundamentally sound. Let's move it over. It's got positive earnings growth rate, 11%. Story may have some merit to it. All right, the story may have some merit to it. Up 2% today. Upside potential is there. Safety is there. What's hurting it is relative timing. It's not in an uptrend, so the technicals are not helping it, but fundamentally it is sound and positive earnings growth rate. How quickly does VectorVest update the technicals following earnings? Fits. I'm looking at real-time data. This is being up. You see all of these things ticking? All of this stuff is ticking real time. So as soon as earnings come out, whatever, it is all ticking real time, for real. Just about any stock involving AI will trend upwards for the remainder of this year. Absolutely. NVIDIA is my better stock in that space. The buck stops here. I like that. I've done a video or so on NVIDIA, but I think as far as the AI space is concerned, chip stocks are going to play a role. So you're going to look at the NVIDIA, you're going to look at the own conductor, semiconductor, you're going to look at SMCI, Taiwan Semi, ASML, all of those companies that you need to keep your eyes on, especially if AI keeps moving up. Chip stocks are going to be a part of that. Kevin says lots of crystal balls here. I'm not crystal balling. Well, I may be crystal balling just a little bit. Glenn, you missed the reason why Meta went up. CCP. What is CCP? What is CCP? We gotta break down what CCP. You talk about China? Oh, they got some. Are they doing some stuff with China? I'm not getting into that. I don't want to get into the politics of that. Did they? I know that Apple. It was either Apple. Somebody was in the news with having some link up to China. U12. Is that what you're saying? I don't know if that's the main reason why it went up. I'm not going to call it that way. That's the main reason why it went up. Don't misunderstand me, Glenn. Loves you. Kevin, it's all right. It's all right. Owner of Meta announced a future involvement with AI and the stock skyrocket. Okay, I got you. A couple of people looking at Amazon. We'll see if I got time today. All right. The airline Southwest undervalued. Good upside potential. The safety is not there. It's not in an uptrend. They do have positive earnings growth. I think that this right now is just a public relations thing. I think they are okay. All right. It is undervalued. I think that they're okay. They are accelerated, but we'll see. For my EV space, I'm looking at cars, which is the ETF that looks at the whole space. Or actually, it's not. That's interesting. That's why. I'm about to say. It is AutoFit. Isn't it AutoFit? Why does that say something just happened to my watch list? I can't move these over. Oh, never mind. Side. All right. Yeah, the price and the value should be the same. The bad thing about it is the RT on that ETF is down. All right. So that was forward thinking that it's going to be good going into next year. But right now, by way of RT, it's not there. Z made a deal with the devil. Is that what it is? Hi, Natasha. You're never late, Natasha. You're here. You're never late. You're never late. All right. So those are my stocks that from the news. If I'm looking at them, there's the gap, laying off people, a little overvalued, fundamentally not sound. I think that they're needing to do whatever they need to do to make the investors happy by time when earnings come out. They're not good. Gap's not good. Overvalued, no upside potential, no safety. What's the earnings at? Negative earnings growth. I think that I'm thinking that that's not so good. Any opinion on transportation and logistics? Let's do this. Let's go down to the industry viewer. Transportation. Which transportation, though? Let's sort this by industry. Which transportation? Transportation what? Transportation. Transportation truck ship. What do you mean ultramag? Actually, let's do it this way. I could do it better this way if I go look at a sector viewer and look at the transportation sector. I could do it better that way. All right, so that would be a little better. All right, transportation. It is, let's move this over. Transportation is number 16 out of 41. Not bad. Let's go look at the sector graph. Let's go look at the sector graph. Put this on the 3-month graph. Ooh. So transportation fell to a level on the 3-month graph of 3204, bounced. Could be coming up. I wouldn't put any credence into it, at least until the 3 went above the 8. So I looked at the whole sector, Ultra Magnus. I looked at the whole sector. I see the bounce. It's more bounce to the ounce. I'd rather wait for the 3 to go above the 8 first. I would really wait for the 3 to go above the 8 for the whole sector. Glenn is that guy. Thank you, Christian. I think. U12, I am going to read that article on Meta. I do. I think I want to read that. All right, so I'm not ready for transportation. Nice update. I got from a candlestick pattern, though, from the sector. I got a little bit of a bullish harami. That's a positive sign. All right, but I really would like more confirmation before I take it. Tell you what I'm going to do. I still had stuff that I wanted to talk about, but I love having these conversations. I do love having these conversations with you guys. So let's go find Trending Thursday, watch list viewer, big news. Let's go. I got some swing trades for you. Let's go take a look at some swing trades for you. This is from the EMA squeeze. I want you to keep your eyes on these. Swing trades I can hold for a couple of days to a couple of weeks. Look at that. Look at that move. All right. Let's go to the graph layout. Let's put on the EMA squeeze. Hopefully I have it. There it is. Look at that move. 3 different moving averages and a long moving average. So I'm looking at the 5, the 8, the 13. Let me move this over. I'm looking at the 5, the 8, the 13, and the 50. Big move on fix. Broke through a downtrend too. Trading at session highs. Keep your eyes on that. I don't know what the news is on that though. I'm looking at MY. Hey, is this the stock we made money on in the Jockey Club? Yes or no? I don't remember. Anybody? Was this the stock that we made like that 15, 20% on in the Jockey Club? Was this it? I don't remember if it was. I got a lot of Jockey Club people in here. But if it was, I think it was too, and probably was this day. I think it was this day. Stephanie said no. If it was, it probably was this day. But look at the pullback, but look at the rebound. Look at that rebound. Nice wick at the bottom, very little wick at the top. Keep your eyes on that one too. These are EMA squeeze stocks. Wow, MOH, all 3 moving averages and the big moving average. Nice open candle, very little wick at the top. Keep your eyes on that candle, on that stock. Wow, GGG. GGG, what you say? Who sang that song? It was wasn't that Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney? Say, say, say. I think that was the song, wasn't it? Y'all remember that? Ben says Fix is an earnings pop. Fix had big revenue beat yesterday. It made it from a technical standpoint of the EMA squeeze. GGG trading right at session highs, no give back. All right, was this an earnings play today too? Yep, that was an earnings play today too. Man, not only were these earning plays, but no give backs. Relative value above 1, relative safety above 1, and an earnings play. Earnings growth at 10%. That's not a bad, that's not, was that also for Fix? Let's go back to Fix. Fix, earnings play, relative value above 1, relative safety above 1, earnings growth at 22. So we found 2 stocks, earnings play, that I feel a little bit more comfortable with. I'm liking that. I feel comfortable with those 2 rather than what I feel with Meta. Do you agree? Yes or no? Do you agree with what I just said? Yes or no? Found 2 stocks with earnings today, fundamentally sound, with no give back. Would I be more comfortable in these than I would be in Meta? Yes or no? Anybody? Curious. All right, what else is in this list? CBRE, same scenario. Little wick at the top. And that's the beautiful thing about what we do here in the software. Now, I understand Mark says looks to be near a high, but I'm not afraid of buying a stock that hits a new high because it's doing exactly what I wanted to do. But Kevin brings up another point. Play the market with a bias to the downside. So I am going to look at these stocks that hit earnings and that are going up and look halfway decent, but I am going to keep in mind that the market may have more downside than upside. And the last one is CHRW. No earnings. It was earnings yesterday. Big pop. A little bit more of a wick at the top. But also from a swing trade perspective, possible stocks to keep your eyes on. All of these are possible stocks to keep your eyes on. What time is it? 2:53. All right. Let's go. I'm going to take about 5 of your stocks. Type them in. 5 of your stocks. Type them in before we go. 5 of your stocks. All right. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for you to type the stocks in the room. I'm gonna wait and clap my hands in front of the microphone. Yes, I am XOM, MCK, EL, MSFT, PLX, GOOGL. All right. Took y'all forever to put the stocks up in here. Good gracious. No mug. All right, let's go see. The only stock I've been looking at PLX. Undervalued as a bio. Upside potential is there. Safety is not there. It's more of an aggressive play. Positive earnings growth rate. I do like this stock. I do like this stock. It's a little bit more aggressive, but I like it. ExxonMobil, undervalued, almost fundamentally sound, in an uptrend, growing their earnings by 28%. Google, overvalued, makes money, growing their earnings only by 4%. McKesson, undervalued, fundamentally sound, 25% on the earnings growth. Microsoft, overvalued, no upside potential. This company's been around a long time, makes money, 8% earnings growth. And last but not least, Estee Lauder, way overvalued, about four times over its value, 5 times over its value. That's not a good thing. But that just means people are willing to pay a premium to own it. Fundamentally not sound and in a downtrend and negative earnings growth rates. I'm not feeling Estee Lauder. All right, let's go graph these all real quick. Put these on a 3-month graph. Put these with my swing trade layout. 20-day exponential moving average. Undervalued, I like this stock. Rising earnings. PLX, I do like. If I'm in it, leave it alone. End of day, I'm all right. Just a down day today. I like that stock. Cannot lie. ExxonMobil, flat like a lot of oil stocks. Earnings are falling, though. Look at that. Sideways move. Volume is leveling out. Still above the 20-day, but it's at the 20-day and that level of support. And it's undervalued. I'm not sure. I feel really good and warm and fuzzy about oil right now. Google, earnings yet? They had earnings. Nice up day, but having a hard time getting past this level of resistance of 109.06. If the market has some downside, though, it may not be able to break through it. Earnings looks good, but the market's direction may bring this stock's price down. All right, next one. McKesson, sideways move. Love the rising earnings, way undervalued. Also, sort of kind of moving sideways, sitting in a little bit of a channel. I'd really like to see it break out above that level of resistance. I do like the earnings per share, though. Microsoft, earnings, pop, nice open day, good volume. Overvalued, though, by a lot. I do like the earnings. It's hitting a new 3-month high. Would I take it now? Maybe a little piece, but keep in mind the market may have some more downside. All right, and Estee Lauder, sideways move, rising earnings. Stock just can't get out of its own way. The stock can't get. Elf is the bomb diggy right there. You want a stock to buy? Elf is the bomb diggy. Put that on a 3-month graph. That's a beautiful equity curve. Moving a little bit down now. If you're in it, though, leave it alone. If you're not, I'd wait to see if it can take out the 3-month high. All right, I'm done. We did a lot of talking today. We did a lot of work. We looked at a lot of stuff. We laughed. We cried. We teased Glenn. We talked about Joey's little truck as well. So with that, let's go see if we get 100 likes before we leave. We never got to 300 people. I need you guys to really share this with more than the people that you think you know. You people got followers. I can see that. A lot of you got followers. You got to share this on your channels. All right, with that, what's a great undervalued stock? Let's go look real quick. Joey, you gotta pick up babies. All right. Let's go sort price to value. Let's go. I'm gonna look at the whole list though. Stock viewer, cancel. You want a good undervalued stock? Let's go stock viewer, and I'm gonna sort price divided by value. All right. That's a really good way to do it. Price divided by value. LMNOP price. Really? You don't have price divided by value? That would suck if you don't. Hold on. That's silly. Value divided by price. High value, low price. Let's do that. Move this over. Is that the way I wanted it? What's price value? I probably got to create a search real quick. Stock price actual greater than 5. Run the search, and now let's sort it by value divided by price. All right. Value divided by price. There you go. Wow. I'm not touching First Republic. Just not doing it. Not at this juncture. BPT I like. What stocks do I know? Well, not a whole lot of these stocks I know. I wouldn't touch FRC though. Let's highlight these. View the stock graph. Side. That's not what I meant to do. View the stock graph. A lot of these stocks I don't know. Put some 3-month graph. I'm not touching that. These are undervalued. Mr. Mex Biker. A lot of these are going down though. There's a different way to do this. I think on my next stream, I'm going to have some stocks for you, Mr. Mex Biker. There's a different way to do this. I think I'm going to try to have some stocks for you. All right, how about that? I'm going to try to have some good undervalued stocks for you. All right, I got to go. I'll be live tomorrow at 12 for the mobile app. I think I got a good topic for you. Tips and tricks on the mobile app. Make sure you're there at 12 o'clock tomorrow. Tomorrow there's going to be a 6 p.m. video. I'll get that recorded today for tomorrow. And I'm done. How many likes did we get, Joey, before we go? We got 81. I didn't get 100 likes today. It's all right. So I didn't talk about LA today. Remember, folks, May 19th and 20th, we will be in LA. It's going to be no live stream, but it is a live 2-day seminar. A live 2-day seminar in Los Angeles. Go to the website. That's not the one I want. Where is it? Go back into the software. www.vec
I don't even. What scene are you on? You're not even talking. I can't hear you. No, because you were on a whole other scene that doesn't have audio.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, I don't know which push. I was over here looking for the link to put it in.
Oh, all right. Well, Joey put the link in there. Now there it is. I don't know. So we're gonna be there. Joey broke my computer. All right. So May 19th and 20th, we're gonna be in Los Angeles. It will not be recorded. It will not be live streamed. It's a way of us getting out to you live. All right. It's a way for us to get out to you live. So in order for you to see us and be there, you gotta be there live and in person. Got to be there live and in person. Joey put the link in there, and he also pinned it to the top. All right, and there's a live stream tomorrow. Interesting interlude. Singing is better. I didn't even sing. I didn't sing. I didn't do nothing.
Now you kids are probably asking yourselves,
Oh,
hey Matt,
I pushed the
how
wrong.
can we get back on the right track?
Okay, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do that. Wow. All right. I don't know how that happened, Joey. I don't know how it was right. They were right next to each other. They're right next to each other. All right, folks. I gotta go. Come see me tomorrow, live at 12 p.m. for the mobile app coaching. That. Huh?
On Thursday next week, you'll do the mobile app.
On next Thursday, I'll do the mobile app because I'm off next Friday. Oh, I was gonna say that again tomorrow, but yeah, next Thursday will be the live mobile app instead of Friday. All right, let me go now. I've always wanted a trailer down by the river. That's a fun. I love that we put up there. All right, adios, arrivederci, ciao, au revoir, sayonara, aloha to all my peeps in Hawaii. Bom dia, salam, shalom, namaste, yasu. Until next time, folks. See ya.